Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Mike Lamppa with Active Life Chiropractic in Bloomington, Minnesota. We're at 8900 Penn Avenue South in Bloomington. What I wanted to bring to your attention was one of the questions that's asked in doctors' offices all around the country, and that is, why do I have this pain and why doesn't it want to go away? Well, unfortunately, more times than not, that pain is self-inflicted. Now, you're probably guessing what I'm going to be talking about, and that's poor posture habits. Now, what we need to do first of all is to understand what poor posture has to do with pain. And to do that, we need to see what the spinal cord, or what good spinal posture would look like. Ideally, you should have a nice forward curve in the low back, backward curve between the shoulders, a forward curve in the neck. This would be an ideal posture. The reason for those curves is that you have your brain setting up here, and your spinal cord is attached to your brain, and it runs down inside the bony structure called the spinal column, down to the second lumbar vertebrae in this level. And with those curves in there, it gives slack to that spinal cord. Therefore, when you bend forward or back to the sides, you're not going to have pulling on that spinal cord because the curves create a slack in the spinal cord itself. But if you don't have that curve in there, you take the curves out, you're going to increase the distance between here and down here, which takes the slack out of the spinal cord. Now when you do bending forward or you bend backwards or wherever direction that you want to bend, it's going to create an issue there as far as pulling and tractioning on that spinal cord and on the spinal nerves that run out from the side. So those curves are there for a purpose. They give slack to the spinal cord. You don't have the spinal cord coming all the way to the bottom, and in the basement of the pelvis you got an extra coil down there just in case you need extra slack. It doesn't work like that. So we have to pay attention to those curves to keep our spinal cord healthy. Those curves are also compensatory. If you take the low back curve out as an example, that head's going to want to pop forward. It's because your head's going to want to stay over the center of gravity. You put the curve back in there by using a good posture, the curves come back because they're compensatory. One relies on the other to keep itself. Now, what that means when you take those curves out is it creates a lot of structural stress. Over time, that's going to create a problem with things like arthritis, wear and tear factors, and so forth that are involved with the spinal column, the bones itself. It's going to have an effect on the muscles, the ligaments, the spinal nerves, joint capsules. So it's going to have a profound effect on those other joints as well. And eventually what might end up happening is if you stay in a bad posture long enough, your body is going to assume that posture and you won't be able to change it. So pay attention to your posture. If you have any questions in regard to posture, give us a call at 952-888-6000 and be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Also, we're going to be doing some video in the future here on correct postures in positions such as sitting, standing, and sleeping. So keep an eye out for us, and we'll be talking to you again.